if you're a wrap professional, you must be getting Model Ys in the shop already. So we're gonna break down how to wrap it as a pro. So the Model Y 2026 Juniper was released last week, and a lot of people have been getting deliveries. You've been seeing it on X, Instagram, all sorts of social media. So we're gonna break down as a wrap shop. So this is actually a little bit different from what we typically do. We do a lot of do-yourself content. So as a wrap shop ourselves as well, if we were to get a car in here for a customer, this is what we would do. So we're gonna talk about what we would actually remove and how we would tackle certain areas. So we're gonna pretty much start from the front and then work our way all the way to the back. And when we get these cars, we remove a lot of the stuff because one, we need to document how to best remove stuff so that other people can also remove it in the shop, right? So let's start with the bumper. So for the bumper, here's gonna be a problem area. This isn't a huge problem area, but it does go in quite a bit. So I actually have a caliper right here. Since we're in America, we'll do inches. I mean, you're talking about almost an inch. It's about 0.86. So about an inch that valids in. So you could do this all in one piece if you wanted to. And a lot of people actually end up doing this in a two-piece if they also choose to. So there's not a right or wrong answer for that. Just depending on that, you could feed that in. But you could also not. And this is going to be for both vinyl and color PPF, to be honest. You could actually bulk this in PPF and get this all in one piece so it's nice and seamless. I think the bumper is actually slightly easier than the previous Model Y, just because of the flatness and this little curvature right here, it kind of goes up. It's a lot shorter, which means that you don't have to stretch as aggressively so that it pulls all the way in. And there's a lot less to tuck in over that because they have this light bar, right? So this one right here, I would actually remove the actual bumper as a whole because when we work on these cars, one thing that you want to make sure we do is this is really, really tight right here. So there's a bolt you can see. We already have the remove, and that's what we'll get on next. But I would remove all the bumpers and then pretty much remove it all from here. That way, when I actually wrap it and I bulk it and I have someone help me and we have it all pretty much wrapped, we take it out. And then once we take it out, I could have another person do the knifing, the cutting, and then around this. And let me just show you real quick. So a lot of times we do this testing, and we just did this so that we can show you. If you were to, you could do it without going all the way, but if you're a wrap shop and a professional, I feel like typically bigger shops will have like removal people, and then smaller shops might not. So I think majority of people are gonna be doing it by themselves. So maybe if you don't have time, you don't have to remove it, but you can see that it actually tapers off. So this cut is pretty easy, but this is actually transparent. So you could look down. So especially if you're going from a light color to a dark color or the other way around, just make sure that you get full coverage so that when you look down on it, you don't see that color. This has a lot of tension right here. So I didn't really stretch anything. This is going to be a failure point. So if you actually have it off, you could put more material behind it so that it doesn't fail, right? So in these cases, I like putting a lot more material and then wrapping around it and stretching it in. Same goes right here. This gets a lot easier. This is pretty easy. This is fairly easy, especially if it's removed, you just wrap it and then you could use the edge to cut around it. The bottom here is fairly simple, so you just get down to it and you could just put your knife, you know, in between here. You see how it just goes through like that? And then you could cut the vinyl as well. The side is a lot easier because the trim you can remove. And then here you don't want too much material because it rubs right here, but you do want coverage so that you don't see any of the color prior to that. If you look at this headlight area, you can see certain areas. So we're still testing a couple, but actually, if you look at this right here, the silver actually goes all the way in. So if you actually have this removed from the bumper itself or from the car itself, you could tuck in all the way, so you could even hide these areas. These are some of the smaller details. That's why in a pro install, it's slightly different. We do a little bit more removal than normal. So that's what I would do for the removal. The hood, I mean, of course, no removal. Super simple. This is a very, very easy hood. It is super flat, even flatter. There's less curvature. It's almost a rectangle, or actually this is a trapezoid, almost, pretty much. So it's a very simple shape. You should be able to bulk this, do a 4-corner stretch, and then be able to open it up and do the cut. You could also cut it from the side and then wrap around it as well. The corners are also very easy. For the Fender, so let me open this up real quick. I might have this on service mode, I believe. So I'm gonna go ahead and open it up. Yep. From the car. So let's talk about that. So for the Fender, I would remove the autopilot. So let's move on right here. I would also remove the trims right here, and it just makes it so much easier. And I think as a wrap shop or a professional, you should also look at, are you doing this by yourself? You have an assembly person, disassembly person. But this helps a lot because you could literally tuck all the way underneath here, and then the trim covers it, and you get full coverage around that. Once you remove the bumpers, you also get full coverage towards the fender as well. And then if you are doing color or color PPF or color vinyl, you could take this out and go all the way in right into here. The coverage is really about here, so you don't need to do all of it, but yeah, you do want to remove that for sure. So when you get to the fenders though, and some people go like crazy on this one, but typically I'll use a knifeless tape for this because it's like, if you actually close this, this is not a whole lot of coverage. So I would just lay down knifeless a little bit past so I can get deeper into here without having to remove the frunk. The frunk is not hard to remove. It's a bunch of 10 mils. But again, if you're a solo shop installer, it's a lot to do. You have to take it out apart and you have to put it back, which is actually a pretty extensive. And when you add all the other things that you have to wrap on top of all this, you're adding a lot more work. So I'm always in the side of not removing if you don't have to. So I wouldn't actually remove this. I would just do it and then it tucks in. There's very little tension up there if you stretched it right. So that's not going to be an issue at all. And you can see typically right up here, you see these are called the stamp lines. This is what you would use when you wrap it. You typically wrap up to that. You don't really need to go past that. You could even go less, honestly. But when you're cutting it, I would definitely use on the hood side, use the fender and run your blade across this way and then get a really nice tuck around. So let's move on. We've kind of discussed the fender. The fender is fairly easy. It does have, it's very similar, but it's a little flatter once it gets to here. The other Model Y was more like this and it kind of came out into a little Y, right? This one is one piece and the headlight is right under it. And this is similar to the new Model S and Model X and all the other newer cars. And they're changing it, I think, all across the board. So some people, and this is just a pro tip, I guess, like to actually loosen up the fender to get better coverage in here. And so I haven't ever had to do that often, mainly because I was able to kind of get in. But sometimes I've seen cars where it's really tight between the fender and pillar. That's when you want to remove it and loosen it up just a little bit so you have a little bit more play. So if you were to do that, let me just show you where it would be. It's kind of hard to show here, but we'll do our best. But it's this little 10 mil right here. Yeah, so let me just get the camera real quick. So it's right there. You see that 10 mil right there? That's what you're removing. You just loosen it. You don't have to take it out all the way. But once you remove that, this will have a little bit more play, which is really nice. So let's talk about the doors, right? Doors, if you're doing a pro install, I like removing the mirrors. But when you're wrapping the mirrors, I always leave them on like this. So I actually do the mirrors last a lot of times once everything is on, because it's hard to stretch if the mirror is like on your lap or you're holding it, right? So it needs to be held by something. So I would remove the mirrors because this is held by 3 10mm bolts once you take out the door panel. I would remove all these trims right here, these 2 trims. This one, I don't think I have to, I mean, you really don't have to, that's an optional. But if you were to, there's a bunch of T20s that go across. You have to take out the seal underneath right here, and then you could remove it. And then when you're doing this, pro tip, just don't pull it down, okay? There's an actual like clip right here. Pull it forward, and then it actually comes out, right? That's very important. If you pull this way, it will break that clip. That clip is very fragile, but that keeps it in place and aligned. So that is a very important aspect of it. That's really all you have to remove for that. But why do we remove the mirror? Well, first of all, this is super tight right here. But second of all, when you're trying to bulk, this mirror is going to be on the way. So when you have 2 people or maybe you're by yourself, it tends to, like, if you're a professional, this is worth it, in my opinion, to save time so you don't have to battle this mirror right in front of you, right? So that's why I remove that. Like I said, this one's an optional. This is, some people like removing it, some people don't. Definitely remove these two. These literally come up. One trick that I've learned removing so many of these is, first of all, bring your windows down. It actually tightens up when the windows are all the way up. And if you look right here, let me show you right here. It's like teeth. There's a metal, it goes like, there's a metal thing right here, and it's like, it grabs like this, right? So if you look right here, you just need to loosen this up right here. And then once you do that, I like taping it all across here. Use my trim tool and move it up. If you have a friend or a helper, one person is doing this, one person is trimming, like I guess using the trim tool and then pulling up. And then typically it'll come out and it'll loosen up. But starting with that teeth, kind of loosening up that teeth is gonna help you remove both of these trims. So that's pretty much it. So all of this, guys, is exactly the same leading up to the previous gen of the Model Y. So all the way up to 2025. The doors are the same, the pillars are the same, mirrors are different, right? Because it has that weird ledge thing. Rear quarter panels are the same. But everything else in the front and then the rear is completely different. So when we get to here, here's what I would remove. I would actually remove this trim because it is very easy. It's very similar to that clip right here. You just pull back. There is a clip down there that kind of grabs it from the bottom like this. So once you remove it, just put it aside and make sure. But that allows you to get better coverage from the rear quarter panel, and it kind of tapers off. It doesn't really apply to this one right here because this one obviously opens and you can get better coverage right off the bat. So let's get to the fun part, which is the rear. And we actually have a lot of things already to remove because that's what we do. When we first get these cars, we remove everything, we have fun with it. But I'm very excited. The rapper's gonna be very excited. Rear bumper is literally that. There's two of those, right? One on each side. And it's fairly easy because look at this right here. This little ledge is really nice, right? So if you just pulled it across just a little bit and stretched it across, this will just kind of hug. Same thing here. It does do the standard, curvature this way, but if you just pull, and then you could, the main thing is to make sure that you have coverage up here as well, because you see how much paint there is at the top. And then for sure, since it's such a small area, you could definitely get this part, right? So what I would do here is I would just honestly do this all in one piece, inlay this part right here. So I'm creating a template, so I can just put that. It takes me 2 minutes to put on, but that way you get perfect coverage and it goes all the way around. But for this part, once you move it across, I'll kind of pull it across, right, this way, and then it'll kind of fold all the way into that valley right here. Very little tension right across here. When you get to here, once you remove this, there's an actual bolt right here. I would remove that bolt because this will loosen up. And once you loosen it up, it's just a bunch of clips all the way around. But once you loosen it up, you'll be able to tuck in a lot of that vinyl PPF. And it's a little bit different, right? Vinyl is going to be a little bit thinner than PPF, so make sure you make some accommodation based on what you're installing. But you'll be able to access that a little bit better. I don't think you have to remove, I wouldn't remove the rear bumper, to be honest. I think it's unnecessary. I do loosen that up and it makes it a lot easier. Same thing here, like the front bumper. The knife actually falls in really, really well. So I like getting, so look at that. It just kind of, you just guide it all the way across. And that should, have really, really good longevity. So now that we've talked about that, let's talk about the trunk. All right, so can I close the trunk? All right, cool. So obviously everything is removed. I would not remove all of these, okay? I would actually keep it intact, right? There's plenty of coverage right here, and this is where the light bar, and it's actually all in one piece. These are the connectors to the back camera, the controllers, and then there's the headlights. Tail lights, right? So this is an all-inclusive harness just for all that. And then what's interesting is, there's actually another metal piece that goes over here, and I'll show you that in a second, and that connects right here to the pillar, right? So pillar kind of runs down all the way here, and it goes really tightly like this, and I'll show you how it fits. So I wouldn't remove any of this, but I do want to show you, this is what it looks like. But this is what I would do, right? So let me just grab this. We're making some designs off this right now, templates. But when this fits right here, it goes like this, okay? So it's held on by one T20 and another T27, I believe, okay? So I would actually remove just the 2 bolts. Why? Because the access is easy. You don't have to remove a single thing. It's on the back side right here. I'll show you in a second. You remove those 2, you could actually get a trim tool and you could actually pop it up just a little bit so you could put vinyl or PPF underneath it. That way you don't have a line if you're doing a color change, right? That'll look awful. I would highly recommend doing that, removing that, and it just pops up and really, really easy. As far as this light bar, I'll show you right here on our ping pong table, our office. This is what it looks like. And once it's installed, it's actually held by brackets. And we're gonna do another video, so I'm not gonna go into detail about all this stuff, but it's really held by 10 millimeters heavy. But there's a lot of give right here. So you're gonna be able to tuck a lot of that underneath it. So I don't think it'll be an issue. If anything, you could loosen it, but unnecessary in my opinion. We just wanted to learn how that works. So removal, very, very minimal. Right now, I don't have a button anymore. So I'm gonna go ahead and open that up so I can show you exactly what I'm talking about. So right now, I have a lot of stuff removed. So these are all the tools that I use to remove it. But look at this real quick. It's literally right here. It's this right here. This is a T20, and it's actually shorter where it goes on the outer edge, and then it's a T27, which is a little bit deeper. And it's literally like, I think it's like right here or something like that, right? So it's just so easy, no removal. You don't even have to remove this middle trim, lower trim. So it's just too easy for you not to do it. So 100% definitely want to do that as well. So I think we've covered most of the removal. That's typically how I would do it. You know, you could remove this, and some people like removing this. Oh, we have PPF on it. I wouldn't remove it. Some people, this is an optional, but it's literally 3 clips, pressure clips right here. Maybe we'll do a video about it. It does make it easier, so I think that's an optional. Just like the top trim that I mentioned, this is an optional, right? This is another one that's optional. I typically don't remove it because honestly, when it's like this, I could slide in my film and then get a nice little coverage right all the way in there. So I don't really have an issue being able to work around that. You could remove it, but you have to go from the inside and all that stuff. So again, you're adding more time to your workflow, so you have to kind of gauge that. Do you have a disassembly, assembly person? Do you have a team? Are you a solo installer? If you're a solo installer, skip that. You know, if you have a team, maybe, depending on who's installing, right? As far as the rear bumper diffuser right here, no need to remove at all. And I think I've covered mostly everything in terms of how we would tackle this as a wrap project. So we have a lot of videos that we're actually going to be creating guides for. Do you have to remove the rear tail light diffuser, diffuse light? No, but that's what we're here to do. We're here to help you learn about how to fix your own cars too, right? And customize, protect, and maintain. So if you have any questions about wrapping as a pro, let us know in the comments below. We have a lot of do-yourself content, pro content coming out around the Model Y. So stay tuned, click on that subscribe button, and we'll see you later.